Hi, my name is Katrina Apostle, and I am here to present a campaign for security awareness. The technological advances in today's society have led to an increased dependence on electronics, including in healthcare. Many medical facilities utilize some form of electronic health record to store medical information so that health professionals may make informed decision making and optimize overall patient care. The influx of sensitive information within these information systems, however, also warrants the need to preserve data confidentiality and security. According to the Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights, records show that there have been a yearly increase in data breaches due to an increase in malware and hacking. There were reports of 60 million breach records in 2021, 57 million in 2022, 168 million in 2023, and 275 million in 2024. There was a 192% increase of data breaches in 2023 and 63.5% increase in 2024. For this reason, it is essential to identify common security threats, rectify these issues, and comply to privacy acts. Common security threats that healthcare information systems experience include social engineering, malware, phishing, ransomware, spam, unsecured wireless networks, and mobile security threats. Social engineering is defined as a psychological manipulation used to divulge sensitive information from a victim. Phishing is a form of social engineering that uses unsolicited and fraudulent messages to deceive recipients into disclosing sensitive information. Malware, on the other hand, is defined as malicious software used to disrupt the system and gain unauthorized access to data. Ransom is a form of malware that cybercriminals use to encrypt a victim's information so that they may ask for a ransom in exchange for the information's decryption. Although spam is often used for advertising and promotional purposes, the unsolicited messages can also be a vector for phishing and malware, thus also making it a cybersecurity threat. Phishing and malware are among the most used attacks. However, these attacks can be countered by incorporating a multi-factor authentication for additional security, advanced email filters to block emails with scams, phishing, and malware, and staff training in regards to cybersecurity and compliance to privacy laws, which we'll get into later. Aside from providing corrective measure to prevent data breaches, the use of privacy acts is also in place to support data confidentiality and security. Among these privacy acts is HIPAA and the 21st Century Cures Act. HIPAA, also known as Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, is a federal law that was passed in 1996 to protect the privacy and security of patient health information. HIPAA consists of 5 rules: the privacy rule, security rule, breach notification rule, omnibus rule, and the enforcement rule. It provides a framework for how protected health information is handled once information is requested. The privacy rule identifies circumstances in which protected health information may be disclosed. The security rule serves as a standard for which electronic protected health information, or EPHI, is safeguarded. The breach notification rule mandates the need to notify the Department of Human Health Services within 60 days of discovering a data breach. The omnibus rule essentially merges the high-tech and the HIPAA Act into one. The enforcement rule explains how investigations are conducted in the occurrence of a HIPAA violation. The 21st Century Cures Act, on the other hand, was passed in 2016 to fund research on curing critical illnesses, accelerate medical advancements, and promote interoperability. When information is requested, it is easier to exchange information so long as it is between authorized users and covered entities. In order to educate staff and stakeholders about the key healthcare regulations and laws, 3 educational resources, including a brochure, poster, and newsletter, have been created. Each of these resources thoroughly explain key healthcare regulations such as HIPAA, security terminology, and best practices to maintain privacy and security. When implementing the campaign, it is important to consider a few aspects. First, identify the purpose of the campaign and the stakeholders that it is targeting. In this case, the purpose is to educate stakeholders on healthcare regulations, whereas stakeholders would include any personnel within the organization. including medical providers, administrative staff, IT professionals, etc. Second, identify methods that would engage stakeholders and educate them on the matter. In this case, staff will be provided with brochures, posters, and newsletters to help them keep informed. Third, implement the campaign. Fourth, assess the campaign's success by evaluating staff's compliance to healthcare regulations. This can be assessed through regular auditing. Fifth, obtain feedback from stakeholders and identify how the campaign can be improved for future reference. Thank you. Oh,